everybody, it's Vicki again from www.paperinkle.com, back to share with you another instructional video from our Stampin' Punch of the Month Club from September. I was so excited doing the projects for that. This is your bonus project, and it features the technique that you may have seen in my newsletter, which is called either Sun or Starburst. I've seen it referred to both ways, and that is this design in the background. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do that. My newsletter had some written instructions, but it'd be more fun to demonstrate it. So first of all, you're going to make your card base. So to make your card base, I used a piece of very vanilla cardstock, 8.5 by 5.5, so it's just half of a sheet of paper. And I'm going to fold it in half just as you would make a standard card base. And then once you make your card base, you're just going to decorate it with a pumpkin pie piece of cardstock and a black piece of cardstock. And all I did was just did the regular 5.5 by 4.25 for my pumpkin pie cardstock, then just stepped it in by 1/4 of an inch. So I did a 5.25 by 4 piece for the black, and that just gives me a card base to work with. I'm going to set that aside for now. And I'm going to talk about how we get this design here. So what you're going to need are 4 strips of Coordinating Designer Series paper. So since I'm sticking with the Halloween theme, that's what I'm going to use, is my 4 strips there. These strips measure 1.5 inches by 4 inches, so 1.5 inches by 4 inches. And what I'm going to do is to take each one of these strips, I'm going to take my paper cutter, and what I'm going to do is line up the corner of each strip in the groove. So I've got it at a diagonal with the corner lined up in the groove. And then I'm going to put my guide down, and what I'm going to do is simply cut that. I'm just going to cut that right across there, and it gives me 2 triangles. Again, I'm going to go corner to corner. Get that down in the groove, corner to corner, and then I'm going to cut that, and it gives me 2 triangles. And now that I have all of my triangle, my pieces of paper cut into triangles by cutting corner to corner, I'm going to take a 5 by 2 3/4 piece of vanilla cardstock, and I'm going to coat it with glue stick. So I'm just going to use some glue stick. You can use whatever adhesive you want. If you have the adhesive paper backing, you can use that as well. My preference is glue stick because I want the whole thing to have glue on it. And then once I have that covered, what I'm going to do is mark my center line. So once I've marked 2.5 inches down the center of my paper so that I know where that is, I'm going to take my first piece of paper, and I'm going to line it up along that center line. So I'm just going to line it up as straight as I can along the center line right here on the side, matching the top as well so that I get that perfectly aligned. And that's going to be where I'm going to start my design. I'm going to make sure that the tops are always up at the top. So the next one, I've got the flat edge facing upwards, and what I'm going to do is look to cover the top piece of the paper here. So I'm going to go ahead and move that, line it up, go to my next piece of paper, and again I'm going to edge this one right on up, and then my last piece of paper, and I'm going to edge that right there. So I simply took the pieces of paper and just kept them in a fan along the side. Now I'm going to do the same thing the other way. So you can do your design any way that you would like. I'm going to just start with the opposite side. So I ended here, I'm going to start here with that, and I'm going to go ahead and line those edges up. Line the next edges up. Line the next edges up. And finally finish. So I have a big fan of paper here. I'm going to flip that over, and you can see my 5 by 2 3/4. And what I'm going to do now is simply trim it. I'm just going to trim the edges. Once I snip off all those edges, and I could use my paper trimmer if I want, I just wanted to do it quickly, so I used my scissors. Next, I'm going to use a 5 by 3 3/4 piece of vanilla cardstock. I'm going to adhere this to the top. This is going to be my top of my background. I use a little bit of snail to do that. So that, what we just made with our Starburst technique, is going to be the top part of our background. And now, you see, if I wanted to do a card here, if I didn't want to do anything else, I could stamp a sentiment here, I could put a piece of ribbon there, I could put a design here, whatever you might want to do. I really like washi tape, so I decided that I would use some of this Halloween washi tape on the bottom. So what I'm going to do is just line up my washi tape like this, tear it off, fold it over, take my next color, do the same thing, tear it off, fold it over, and there you have your background. My background is going to be adhered onto the card base that I just showed you. And then what I'm going to do is use my Best of Halloween set again from the Best of 25. And I used the oval cutout. I think this one is about the 3rd one in. You'll just have to take a look at it with whatever you end up stamping. And then the next one will be the 4th one out. And what I'm going to do is just run that through the Big Shot. And here you have it. It is Trick or Treat. Put that on the one that I used the oval framelits die, the next size up. Center this on my Starburst background. Center that. On my cardstock base. And there you have it. It is a fantastic Halloween card, and you can see just the many different ways you can use that with designer series paper. You can make a holiday themed one, you can make birthday cards, whatever design you want. That's a really fun template to be able to use. So thank you again for joining me with our Paper Inkle Stamp and Punch of the Month Club. I certainly appreciate your membership and look forward to sharing next month's projects with you. Have a great day.